Very good.
So you can see the very outside layer of the eye, the sclera, which is the white layer. And just on the inside of that, we have this darker layer, the choroid layer, which is all the black inside here. Just underneath that choroid layer, or on top of the choroid layer, is going to be this retina layer. We can kind of see that on the real eye here. If I move the lens out of the way, get that out of the way. Some of this goo that's still on the inside of the eye here, that's the retina layer. And that can be scooped out. If we look on the front of the eye, here's the cornea that kind of protects the eye here. Right past the cornea. If we go to the actual eye model, you can see the part of the eye that gives it the color, which is the iris. The hole right in the center is the pupil. If we look on the inside of the eye here, right around that pupil, we can see those little striations. And those tiny striations are the ciliary body. They go all the way around the eye. And they actually have tiny little suspensory ligaments. You can see the little suspensory ligaments coming out of the ciliary body. Those suspensory ligaments hold the lens in place. And here was that lens that we just ripped out. Can't stab it as hard. So that's the lens. I did scoop out a little bit of that retina layer, so we saw that as the very innermost layer of the eye. And that entire retina layer all grows out. If we look at this model a little bit, the yellow layer is the retina layer. And you can see that's coming directly out of this optic nerve. And this part of the model shows that optic disc right there. And those blood vessels coming out of it, that's coming straight out of the optic nerve. So the optic nerve would be around the back side. There's no rods or cones there, so you can't form an image, so it's the blind spot. To compensate for that, just off of the blind spot, here is the fovea centralis, where you have the highest concentration of cones, and you can form a really sharp image. That would be hard to see on the real model, or on the actual eye. What we can do is we can look around the back side to find the optic nerve, and where that would make its way into the eye is about where the blind spot would be. And you can usually look at kind of the concentration of the color shades in there to get an idea where the fovea centralis is, but I don't think you're going to see that on the real eye model either. If we look in the cavities of the eye when we cut this thing open, just behind the cornea here is an area, that anterior cavity, where there's an aqueous humor, very liquid. And then the larger cavity of the eye is going to be filled with a vitreous humor, kind of a jelly-like substance. So here's the posterior cavity and the little anterior cavity. Aqueous humor in the anterior cavity and vitreous humor in the posterior cavity. I believe that's all. Got it.